Welcome to PowerUp podcast, the podcast that seeks to empower and dismantle, giving us the power and confidence to question, deconstruct, rebuild, and expand in life. I'm your host, Amma Rouge, voiceover and multidisciplinary artist, well-being advocate, food and book geek with over 14 years of movement-centered experience.
I am your host, Mesma, artist, choreographer, yogi and coach with a passion for alchemy, creativity, transformation and workplace wellness.
We recognise that we can't dismantle and empower or be empowered without first learning ourselves, diving deeper to unlearn the harmful, restrictive and unprogressive. It's an ongoing practice and journey for us all, which is why we created this podcast.
Our show features guests doing the work to enlighten, deconstruct and power up in their own magical ways.
We're going to be having conversations around the power of healing, transformation, well-being and creativity, and how they feed our personal and collective evolution, how they help us power up.
Welcome to season 4, The Power of Circles. And today in the house, we have the wonderful Ira Calixto. Ira is a dance therapist, sound and energetic healer. Born in Brazil, of an indigenous native mother as medicine, midwife, and a Brazilian father of African roots. She grew with the traditions and teachings of herbs, prayers, songs, drums, and dancing. Conscious of the nature and healing power of the plants, of the earth, and all the elements. Ira arrives in Mayan lands in Mexico in 1994, and from that time until now, she remains in love with these magical Mayan lands, where she connected with indigenous teachings, traditions, worldviews, and ancestral philosophies. Initiated as a guardian of sacred fire and Cacao Ceremony, she runs a holistic center, Casa Mama Yemi, which is the most magical place in the world. And it's such a joy to have you here. Thank you, Ira.
So, Ira, our theme, as Ella said, our theme of this series is circles and the power of circles. And we know that you work a lot with nature and plants and ritual and sound and dance. What would you say the power of the circle is in nature, in ritual and in dance? How important are circles in the work that you do?
I think circle, it's everything. We begin when we come in this world, we come in this planet, we come in a circle. We begin with the mother's womb. So mother's womb, it's a real round place where we stay there for 9 months. And that it's the first representation of circular. And the energy that comes in our life always is in and out and going circle. So the importance of circle in life, if you observe everything in life, it's going circle. If you throw a stone in the water, you see circles go.
Yes.
And if you see a spiral, like a little, even the hurricane, let's go bigger. A hurricane have a circle and then start spin and going up, maybe coming down like a tornado. Always circle. Life is a circle.
Yes.
And it's how everything begins. At a dot, point, that starts just in a circular. And circle, it's let's go nature. The birds. If you observe how birds make a nest, the nest come in a circle. They little by little they put a little things to form a nest, and the nest is a perfect circle. So circle is something very important in us, and live in a cycle. The women's cycle. We are cyclical with the moon. The moon is round and we connected with the moon. So everything is circular. So the importance of circle it's to learn how to connect with our unity, how to
Mm.
connect with our
Mm.
circles of relations, friendship. In my case, what I hold the space in our place, Casa Mama Yemi, we hold space for many different circles, female circle, male circle, medicine circle. So,
Mm.
and my work is based and create every place I go, I look to create circles of women's. You come and you stay 9 months in a circle inside the mother's womb. When you come out from that energy, from that womb, the first connection you have is with your mother. You start from the beginning when you were inside the womb, and then you come out and you start to connect. You breastfeed from your mother. You receive the milk from your mother for 9 months, maybe 10, maybe 12, maybe 13. So everything is connected with the feminine energy. So far, so good. So yes, and what we look for in the circles is to speak with the women to reconnect with the habit of sitting in a circle, live with that habit of connected with your heart to empowering with women. We're not talking about feminism or this or that. We're just empowering the women in a way of use our roots, be connected with their roots, with that ancestrality that with time we lose because we're so busy, we need to make money, we are single mothers, we need to work, we need to pay our bills, we need it's so much things that we need to do. We forget to the sisterhood,
Mm.
the circle, to help each other. Even though we have an expression in Japanese, African, that I learned in African, it's if you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast, go alone. So the circles means work together, raise, help, self-confidence, support, love together. It's about, I don't know if I answer, but
Yeah,
I hope so.
absolutely.
Mm.
Um, and Ira, there was this beautiful moment at the medicine circle that I was a part of where we were inside a circle. We were inside your beautiful dome, which I would love to hear a little bit about. I'm sure the listener would love to hear a little bit about. But what it felt that was happening, this sort of intuitive movement that was going on, it felt as if we were healing the women. You know, there was this sort of everyone was doing very different things in the space, and it was like a kind of a ritual of dance and song to music. But it was like this knowing, this sense that we all, you know, afterwards we spoke, and it was like we all felt there was this healing of the sisterhood that was going on, and this just this beautiful kind of coming home to us as individuals, but also to that kind of, you know, in the West, often we're so busy, we don't have time to pay attention, to open our eyes to one another. And it was just this, like, we were all breathing together, you know, and doing exactly what was necessary, kind of weaving the healing together.
Casa Mama Yemi, it's a place that if you arrive here from Africa, from Russia, from Serbia, from Brazil, from Argentina, from United States, many people arrive inside Casa Mama Yemi. They feel like the space for themselves, have their own spirit, their own energy, and they feel like a dome of perfection.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay? It's a dome of perfection. So what I look for in these spaces when people arrive here, um, they feel home. And I hear this all the time. I had sisters from Africa that came here to do healing. And when they arrive, they start to cry and they say, oh my God, this looks like Africa. And I have sisters from India and brother from India say, oh my God, this looks like an ashram in India that I was there. And so, and people from Brazil arrived here. They said, this looks like a terreno in Brazil. It's a name of this faith. So the dome, it's that round protection.
Yes.
And you feel safe. And it's a circle that you can sit in a circle and you feel the energy of a spiral go on. Because if we sit in a circle and we allow this energy vibrate, because everything is vibration. So when we vibrate, the energy starts to move and going up. In the same way, all the energies move from up, coming down. So it's two spirals that it's how our body works too. The energy of the body. One comes from up to down, the other one comes from down to up, and they concentrate right here in the solar plexus. So the intention of the circle, the dome, the round is exactly to create this energy of feel safe with something that is real.
Yeah,
I hope I answered that.
absolutely. And it was like, you know, since coming, I've been to Casa Mama Yemi once, but I feel already like I'm now thinking about coming back in 2 months'
Please,
time. I would love to
please.
the training Sabada Maya, and like, you know, I miss it. And I like both Fiona and I have said maybe we'll stay closer to Playa so we can get to Casa. Or you know, who knows? Maybe we'll offer, because the community and you know there was such a beautiful sense of community in the space that you have created. And so I think for our listeners, well, I'm sure that many listeners are like, what is Casa Mama Yemi? And, you know, can you just tell us a bit more about the journey of how did it come to be? How did it come to exist?
Casa Mama Yemi begins with a name, a real person called Yemi. The name, it's Dolores Jones Bates. And she was a real healer. She was a very naturopath. Naturopath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
naturopath.
Yeah. And she was herbalist. She
Mm.
was a writer of poetry,
Wow.
a Black woman. I met her in her early 50s, going to 60s. And it was so crazy because I was in my early 30s and I was completely going out of my mind. I was unbalanced in my life. And I was just that day, I made a question for God. And I say to God, God, if you exist, you must need to give me a sign because I'm going crazy. I cannot handle my life anymore. I was angry. I was fear. I was frustrated.
Was
And
this
I
in
was
Brazil, Ira?
no, I was already in
You
Mexico.
already? Wow.
Yes, this was because I arrived in Mexico in the beginning of 94. And I arrived in Mexico a year later. I met Mama.
Okay.
Amazing.
And my meeting with Mama Yemi, because, you know, living in another country that is not the same, speak another language is not the
Mm,
and you feel sometimes like you doubts of your
Yeah.
power,
yeah.
doubts of your knowledge, of your roots, because sometimes your roots just take it out from you somehow
Yeah.
when you move to another country. And I was in that moment of my life. And I was walking the street, literally walking the street in a corner. And I arrived here almost 30 years ago. I was one of the first Black women that arrived in this town, Playa del Carmen.
Wow.
And I was walking this street and I saw right in the corner a beautiful woman, full of light, with her
Wow.
beginning her gray hair. And I was like, and she just looked at me and said, there you are. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
She says, I was looking for you many years of my life. I'm like, what's she talking about? She's a crazy lady. She said, you are my spiritual daughter. And I was looking for you. I could believe, of course. We never believe in the truth. We always look for something wrong.
Yeah, all the questions begin. All the doubt and questions
Yes,
begin.
but yeah.
So it's when Casa Mama Yemi was grounded and
Wow.
from the universe to the ground that
Mm,
day. From that day on, for more than 26 years, she was my guide. She was my teacher. She was encouraged me to trust many of the things that I know.
wow.
And she helped me to get back my roots, my mother roots, indigenous, my African roots, and believe the power that I grew up. But we all have gifts. We all have knowledge, but we forget
Mm.
because pay bills, working, doing, take care. So Mama Yemi began like that. And one day she told me, Ira, she used to communicate with spirits in a way of sounds. And the Maya do the same. I don't know if you know that, but the Mayan people, they have names by the sounds. Hook,
Oh, wow.
top, all the sounds they use to, they throw a stone somewhere and make the sounds poof. So they said this will be the name of the village, the people. The Mayan used to
Ah,
do.
Beautiful.
So she told me about these sounds that she was received from the spirits about Ish. We need to find a place, Ida. It's a very special place. It's a vortex that we need to be ready and open because people from all over the world will be coming to receive healing. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going crazy. But okay, I'm gonna follow. All right. And now people see me and they think about me the same.
And you're like, just you wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started to look for this place. And one day a friend told me, oh, I have some properties to sell in Ishkaret. And I said,
Wow.
Ish, Ish. So I told her, let's go see this place because the sounds that you gave me, I think it's manifest.
Mm.
So we came, we looked for the space, we look here, we look there. When she entered in this land where we are, she used to have a pendulum. I still have the pendulum. She starts to move
Beautiful.
her pendulum, walk around, and says, this is the place. We have 3 vortex. I'm like, oh, okay. 3 vortex here. And we need to find out where's the vortex because here we're gonna ground it and
Mm.
receive people.
Mm.
So that's what Miami became 24 years ago and
Wow.
here, like this.
So
Wow.
cool.
And have a long story short, she used to have an Alabama healing center, and she brought many this work to beginning the healing center here, and then many things happen like life it is. We stop, we begin, we stop, and then she gets sick.
Mm.
She gets sick, and I decide to quit, and I say I will not keep going.
Wow.
So a few months before she died, she called me and she said, you have a mission. And the mission was more deeper than that. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about our son because I have a son named Tulum. This is the name of the
Oh,
place.
so cool.
Amazing.
But have a history for that too. But I'm not gonna tell you, otherwise we're
I'd
just gonna
love to
speak
hear it
about
one day. I could
I
definitely
But
hear the
one
know.
story
day,
I
yes,
live.
can
please.
tell you. And the only thing I can tell you about Tulum, my son, she said, Tulum is reincarnation of my great grandma, and he
Wow.
will follow my path and my great grandma.
Wow.
The only thing I can tell you.
Wow.
God.
So we started this project, and she stopped because she was sick. I decided to quit. So she told me, "You have two choices. One, if you keep the place, the only way that you keep the place if you keep the work. If
Mhm.
you decide to not keep the work, you sell the place. We split the
Mm.
money. Half for my family, half for your family. Okay. Otherwise, you must need to keep going." So many things happen in my life. I decided to quit. I said, I'm gonna sell the.
Wow.
She died 2012, okay? 31st, 2012.
Mhm.
When was 2018, number 9, 3 and 9. 2018, 31st, somebody called me. She said, I want to talk to you about the land. Yeah, I'm selling the land. I don't want to sell. I don't want to buy. I want to help you with money to
Wow.
keep the project. Christian, a friend. So he put some money and we start over.
Wow.
Wow.
And I start getting things. Oh, if you come here, you're going to realize everything is recycled. Everything. I'm
Mm.
like,
Amazing.
everything I see in the street, I grab and I bring here and I transform.
So beautiful.
Amazing. I love
It's
that.
so beautiful.
So Casa Mama Yemi is a place that you're going to find a place like this everywhere. It's
Mm.
home. It's an
Mhm.
energy of being and unite of culture,
Yes.
unite of people,
Mhm.
unite of colors,
Mhm.
traditions. This is Casa Mama.
And the vortexes, for the listener to understand, because I've been into one vortex, and like when you explained that story to me, and then actually seeing one, like so special. And maybe you can
Yes.
explain a little bit about the vortexes.
Okay. So the vortex is we have 3 entrances to the womb of the Mother Earth right here in this. I just open up one, but from one we can walk all over the land underground. You can
Wow.
walk for you can stay underground for walk like 1 hour if you want.
Like
Yes.
it's
And
insanely beautiful down
Oh
there,
my goodness.
right?
so and we call the womb of the Mother Earth the womb where we born, where we was created for 9 months before we. So we begin there. We invite the people to come inside the cave, very special cave, very, very friendly, very soft, very tough. And we start a meditation and we do an intention for the healing of our body, for the healing of the mother nature, for the planet. And from there we start our healing with the sacred.
My
In the
gosh.
same cave we do many things, like we do couple bounder, like initiation, the couple with Cacao Ceremony or ancestral plants.
Beautiful.
If we do initiation for women where we do ion steam or vaporization for
Yeah, wonderful.
the vagina and the womb. We do initiation for sisterhood that we take like 5, 7 sisters. We take a beautiful bath.
Oh,
We put water with flowers and herbs, and all the
amazing.
sisters give a shower or a bath actually a bath, and one sister. And
Oh,
each one represent one generation.
oh my gosh. I love
Mother,
that.
grandmother, great grandmother, great for 7 generations. And we sing for the sister when we say all the forgiveness, everything that she needs to release, and we give her initiation with the copalera is another tradition, Mexican tradition, the copal, that
Yeah, so
it's
beautiful.
we use a very special tool that is tradition from here to healing and do the cleaning. We teach the wounds of
Oh,
physical and the spiritual. And we do the same for the men.
oh, so important. So important. And it reminds me of the way that, traditionally in a lot of cultures, when a woman gave birth, how her female sisters would then tend to her and look after her and
Yeah.
Yeah.
share all of that in her healing and her being really tender and caring. All of that is
You know,
encompassed in what you're speaking.
I saw this most beautiful post today that makes me think of this. That I was just like, I want this one day. Of it was a community of women, and they were together burning the umbilical cord. And I was just like, what a beautiful ceremony, and, just kind of real symbol of community, of that is collective. And this image of the umbilical cord and the connection to the womb, it feels so relevant to this conversation.
And it's interesting you saying that. You see how the universe works, God. I was thinking yesterday, say it's time to open up the cave for women that want to give birth.
Wow.
And you just say this now.
Wow, I will send you that link, because I saved it. I was like, this is important. I need to save this for something.
So Casa Mama Yemi is a
Wow.
space of healing. Like
Mm.
everybody can come. We have different design, different, because what I look for is use all the traditions. It's not, I'm not stick with one thing. I mean, land, Mexican land, Mayan, I respect that. But we all have our own tradition. The concept is to bring all these traditions and use that as a tool to heal. Dancing, drums, singing, moving, praying, ceremony with the fire. We have the ceremony with the fire. We have the sisterhood, sharing the yon steam, the lingam as the man and steam, because the men, they have sense of power, the creative too. So the lingam steam, the man circle, so many things, so many tools that we have is so simple and we forget to use.
Yeah. And it's so important.
Because there's so much noise.
It's funny how we don't have time, right? We don't have time for these things.
Ever.
Actually, they're like, when we make time for this, we're so much more able to be in our heart space, and so much more able to actually experience life and receive and give and
And to move from our essence and to experience life actually from our essence, which is completely different experience. I know our listeners are they're probably all wanting to run to
Please
Casa
come,
Mama Yemi.
come.
So all the information will be in the show notes of how you can connect to Ira and to Casa Mama Yemi. But we happen to know that Ira is going to be visiting Europe later this year, everything crossed. Ira, where can people come and connect with you in Europe, and what will you be doing, or how available will you be?
I will arrive in Lisbon, in Portugal, in the second week of June. I will be first 1 week visiting a friend that we have a beautiful olive plantation. I will be helping him collect some olives. Then I will go participating in the Boom Festival. You hear about the Boom Festival?
yes.
Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful place. It's a city. It's a festival. They begin in the early and let's say, I don't know exactly, 20 years ago. When it was 25 years ago, about that, the big festival, and that's located in Dania Velha. And they have this electronic music, but it's not just about electronic. It's about healing. They have that part of
Right.
healing
Need to be there,
and
everyone.
right in the nature. It's so beautiful, and we're gonna be there working with the gods. Mm. And then after that, we're gonna be in a retreat. It's two amazing teachers, yoga teachers. I'm a yoga practitioner. How do you say?
Practitioner.
Practitioner. Sorry, I
No, it's okay.
It was beautiful.
my language. So, and
It's
we're
great.
gonna be facilitating. We're gonna be facilitating a yoga retreat with John and Julia Scott. They are very known people in Europe. We're gonna be facilitating with them sound healing or sound journey with the gongs. We're gonna be facilitating the combo medicine and cacao ceremony. We mix yoga, breath work, we mix different exercise traditional from other countries with the ancestral. So it's what I'm gonna do in Portugal. And then I will be in Italy again, in 2 places, Sardinia and Florencia, doing the
Yeah,
same work, Cacao Ceremony, Gong Bath, and Cambo, and
beautiful.
facilitate some other type of ancestral play.
And if people want to book onto any of those retreats with you, will that be available on your website, Ira? Or will that be?
Yes, what we're gonna do is people will communicate directly with me or my assistant in Instagram, Facebook, or
Perfect.
Casa Mama Yemi, and then we give all the information because the organizers is not me. I'm just facilitating. So I give the contact. The
Yeah,
organizers will contact.
perfect.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
I wanted to say it as well that earlier you said that maybe the people now are kind of like, thinking that you're the weird one, or the this kind of this passing on. And I there is something like when I had a wonderful Subada Maya massage, which is a traditional Mayan technique of massage for the listener, with a wonderful woman called Beatriz, and she said, "Ella es una maga," which means like, she's a witch, but it's like such a powerful word. And I really do feel like there's something in you where everybody just knows the power you have. And a wonderful example for me was in the ceremony that I took part in. You handed me a note, and I waited until I kind of came out of the vortex, and I opened this note, and it was just as if you intuitively knew exactly what I needed to read. And it was this note about fear. Forgotten the exact words, but this breakdown of the letters of fear. Perhaps you can help me with what exactly those words were, but it was exactly what I needed. And then just my heart space opened up, and I had the most wonderful journey. And it's like, that sentence, it really is as if you just went in and you listened to, what does Ella need to receive to have the most powerful connection to universe? And there they were on that piece of paper. And just the intuition that you have, for me, that is true magic. And that is why you are a maga.
You know, we born with two choice, love
Mm,
or fear,
mm,
and from that emotion, that feeling, you choose where you want.
mm,
I walk in my life for many years with fear of being a black woman, fear to be called a poor person, no poor, but fear to be who I am, to not speak a language, to fear to be a daughter of an indigenous and a black man and not have opportunity in this world. Fear, 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 fear to not be good enough. Day that I could understand, I really realized through Mama Yemi about love, I changed my perspective. Now, intuition. This is a message that I will give to everybody that wanna see, because I received this message from a very beautiful spirit, ancestral flag. I was having ayahuasca ceremony, and the grandmother was talking to me, and I was talking to her about my fear. She came to me and she said, "Daughter, stop to be fear. Fear is your best friend if you know how to allow the fear to become your best. Because fear, if you make the fear your best friend, come intuition."
Wow.
When she told me that, I realized fear is just an alarm from your mind to not open up for the love of your heart. Because if you open
Mm.
up for the love of your heart, intuition comes, tell you exactly what is good. Then with love, you trust.
mm.
Love.
I'm crying now. You just,
Oh,
you just
I
nailed it
already
so
want to
beautifully.
cry 3 times. I'm just
Ah,
hold on to not cry. Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
beautiful. Thank you. And
Yeah. Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you. I will be
Right.
following you from many places around the world.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much.
Just thank you for your work.
No,
It's so
yeah,
important.
thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the trust, the love, what you beautiful sisters open up this door for me to express, to share with who wants to hear. And just coming back, remember, circle is about support. Circle is about not judging, but help each other. When you sit in a circle, learn to give space for other ones to speak. Maybe it's not your own perspective, but everybody have the rights to express.
Thank you for listening. You can connect to us and our guests via the links in each episode's show notes. Before you go, we invite you to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the goodness to come. And if you enjoyed today, perhaps tell a friend to tell a friend. We are always grateful for you, our listeners, for our fabulous guests, and to everyone who has contributed to and been a part of our journey here.
Our music is by Tomo Carter. Everything else is brought to you by us, the PowerUp Power Team.
I'm Ella Mesma.
I am Ama Rouge, and we are PowerUp Podcast.